And then meanwhile, when you look at this, okay, Rob, go to Twitter. That this one fellow did a tweet breaking down the numbers on how each camp spent money. If you can just go to my profile, Rob, and I retweeted it. Just go to mine. And if you can go there and go lower. So you hear this, keep going lower, keep going lower, keep going lower, keep going lower, 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 lower. You'll see it. They're right there. Okay, so Justin Blinson, let's give him a shout out. So Justin, wonder who is painting a better picture for America. Campaign spending. Trump raised $381, spent $354. Only $10.4 million was spent on staff. Kamala, billion, spent $1.37 billion. $582 was spent on staff.
Can I say something about once?
Let me just say, I'm going to come straight to you right after this because if you can, when you go like a guy asked me a question, hey, can you give some money to our charity? What percentage of the money is spent on staff? It's the first question I ask. If you can send me what percentage of the money is spent on staff, I'll give you the money. Oh, our CEO makes $670. I'm sorry, bro, I'm not doing that because the money's not going to the people. Okay. Oh, we don't spend that much money on staff. It's this much. No problem. Here's 50K. Here's 10K. Here's 100K. Based on what's being spent. When you see a structure like this and numbers like this, and then you get stories that they gave apparently Beyonce $10 million. They gave Call Her Daddy $100,000 to build a studio that they could have built for what, $5,000, Rob, or whatever that was. They gave Oprah Winfrey $1 million. I bet Oprah's pissed off that they gave Beyonce 10 times what they gave her. Now, these are numbers that we're reading about, right? Is this the one, Rob?
Yeah.
Play this clip and I'll go to Charlie. Go ahead.
$10 million for Beyonce to step up and back Kamala Harris publicly. $5 million for Megan Thee Stallion. $3 million for Lizzo. $1.8 million for Eminem. I mean, is that normally how it goes? You spend $20 million, you get yourself in debt to try to get a bunch of rich celebrities on stage? I'd never seen that. Maybe I'm ignorant of the fact, but wow.
Charlie.
A couple thoughts. So we ran one of the more criticized and now very silent outside groups that helped Donald Trump. So we had a super PAC and a 501c4, and we were attacked. And you guys can look at the articles almost every day. Donald Trump's unproven ground game. You probably saw these articles, right, Chris? I mean, it was a narrative, right, that Donald Trump does not have a ground game. Well, they were talking about what Turning Point and Elon were doing, and we would continually tell the media, like, well, we're actually delivering results. We've registered tens of thousands of people. We're chasing ballots. And the Kamala campaign was running this massive op where a lot of consultants made money where they'd be like, well, we knocked on 18 million doors this weekend or something. And I'd say, well, how many ballots did you put in the box? I mean, how many votes did you actually bank in the early voting period? And we were able to disclose all those numbers in real time as they were happening. And something is amiss. Somebody made a lot of money on this Kamala campaign, like a lot. I don't know who, but I could tell you, being around campaigns a lot, $1 billion spent in 90 days and ending up in debt with very, very little to show for it, it's highly unusual. And it is the opposite of what happened in 2020. And again, the Trump campaign team deserves great credit. In 2020, the Trump campaign team ran out of money and was bankrupt by late September. You can find that article, Trump campaign team financial woes 2020. It was like September or October. Donald Trump in 2020, he started with $1 billion cash advantage, and that team spent it almost all the way down, right? If you could go down, it's I'm sure you can find it somewhere there. In financial peril. Yep, that's it right there. How Trump's $1 billion campaign lost its cash advantage. New York Times, what's the date there on that article?
September 7th, 2020.
My memory's right on. And that's Shane and Maggie, the two best that the New York Times has to offer on this. And literally, Trump was in a financially perilous position. The Trump campaign saved their powder and was able to then outspend the Kamala campaign the last 2 weeks. The final point I'll make is this. All those totals don't count the outside money for Kamala Harris. It doesn't count the super PACs. It doesn't count the 501c4s. And it goes to show that money cannot alone win a White House, that a movement can triumph over a well-funded machine.
Yeah, that's true. And it always has been. Look, my father lost a bunch of elections before he won one. And nobody wanted him. He was an outsider. He was an ethnic. Now I'm a white guy.
At a time that it was a big deal, Italian.
One generation different, right? But he had to be mobbed up. Mercurial Mario, they called him, which was just a code for being an Italian guy. And it was about the people who wanted him to empower them. That's why he won. He beat Lou Lehrman in 1982, who was the head of Rite Aid drugstores. And he had all the money. He had all the cachet. He had all the polish. When they did their debate, my father made a moment with him where he shook his hand and he turned his wrist and he said, wow, that's a nice watch. Because he had like this big timepiece on. And so it didn't matter how much he was outspent because the people win. That's the beauty of our country, is that the people can still win. But it's getting harder and harder.
It should give a lot of people hope, even though you're outspent 3-1 and the media is completely against you. You could still overcome that. It goes
Although
to show
Trump's not the typical outspent guy, because
he's the most famous person ever to exist.
Yeah, because he gets so much free media attention. Although I'll tell you, one of the criticisms I got, somebody hit me with this again. It was good. It was nostalgic. They were like, Trump is your fault. I said, oh, I know, because I've been red pilled, right? And and they said, no, because you gave him so much attention in 2015, 2016. I said, well, I'll tell you how it happened if you want to know. My boss at the time decided that a phone call interview was okay because we'd rather have access than not have access.
Totally. That's so smart. And Trump loves doing those.
And well, he kept offering, I'll call in. Because
he just sits at his desk.
And I was like, well, no, you got to get in front of it. And we didn't have Zoom, there's, pre-pandemic and all that. Zoom wasn't a thing. And even if it were, you weren't okay with it. And I tell you, this is easily verifiable.
Yes.
We went to the Hillary Clinton campaign and I went to the people around her and I said, he's calling in. Do you want to call in? If you want, you can come in, but you can call in. They didn't want to do it.
Think about how much time that saves you as a candidate. You get the full cable news treatment, right? No, that's a great point.
And it's very hard we all know as podcasters, that's why Patrick, like Rogan, takes the time and effort to have you in person. It's totally different.
Yes.
It's really hard for you to get a feel, but also to get a fix on somebody remotely, let alone on the phone. So it worked for Trump several different ways. But just like with podcasting, he said yes. She said no. And just like with the podcasts, he said yes, she said no relatively. And it's a mistake. As a candidate, you've got to say yes to everything. But you've got to do as much as you can.
You know what's amazing? One day, I'm sizing up all my guys on my team because I know I'm about to go on a run. This is 5 years ago. And when I'm going to go on a run, like, when you're going to work your ass off and nobody else knows. So it's like 3 years before everyone's going to find out what you're doing behind closed doors, maybe even 5 years. We're going to light it up and we're going to go. And the market's going to know what we're going to do behind closed doors. Step number 1, identify who's in and who's not. No one knows I'm doing this. I call everybody who has a position of influence. And I say, so call one of my guys who was one of my agents for one of the books. I said, so tell me the vision on who you think you see me as in the next 3, 5, 10 years. We're going to do a lot of big books together. Who do you think I am? And he says, I see you as the ethical version of this guy. And I'm like, who? I see you as this guy. I said, wow. I said, anything else? He says, no. He says, I think you're going to do a lot of them. I said, got it. Cool. Hey, man, this was great. Next person. What do you envision? I think you're going to do this. Oh, okay. What do you think? I think, got it. And then I realized which one of them saw the vision long-term, which one of them didn't. Okay. So guess what? We have to bring somebody else in this position because you have a very influential position. I can't have you have this position. I'm bringing this guy in. God bless you. Wish you nothing but the best. I hope you find people you fully believe in because I'm rolling and we're going to go take over the world. You know what we're doing with insurance, with business, all the stuff that we're going to get into media. And then when you see guys that sincerely are like, dude, we're going to go take over the world. I know exactly. And then they tell you things that maybe you're not even seeing. Like Charlie. I know Charlie's going to do. Charlie's going to be very, very formidable for many years to come. I've told him this guy's going to be a candidate next 10, 20, 30 years, whatever he wants to do. This guy's very, very unique. Charlie. I don't need anything from Charlie. Charlie and I don't do business together. It's not like I'm like, hey, Charlie, let's do this deal together. There is nothing I need or want from Charlie. There is nothing. It's pure, authentic, I believe in you. Us, pure, authentic, we enjoy each other's company. More off camera than on camera. We enjoy each other's on camera, but off camera, we have a great time. My kids love you, my family, we just have a good time together, right? What Kamala Harris's campaign did to win over all these people, it's what that 88-year-old billionaire did that got Anna Nicole Smith to be his wife. I don't know if you remember that story.
Paid him?
What was his name? Yeah, paid him. Can you imagine convincing yourself, this man who was 80-something years old, whatever his age was, when he married Anna Nicole, look at that.
Howard Marshall.
Yeah. Oh, I love her and I love him. Look at the look that she's given him. She is so in love. In that picture, Anna Nicole Smith is Beyonce. That guy right there to the left is Kamala, Howard Marshall. In that picture, Anna Nicole Smith is Eminem. That is Kamala. Anna Nicole Smith is all these other guys. That's Kamala. This is the most embarrassing, possibly the most embarrassing story to have to tell people. I'll pay you to tell people how amazing I am.
I got to be honest. I've been in a lot of campaigns. I've never heard of somebody wanting to accept performing for you. That's one thing. But to come out and endorse and speak, I've never heard of anybody.
And so we
getting a big
hosted
price
President
tag.
Trump twice the week before the election, once in Atlanta and Vegas. And we had the best speaker lineup you could imagine. Let me name the names. Jason Aldean, who is #1 country, right? Tucker Carlson, Bobby Kennedy. I mean, we had the biggest names you can imagine. Next one, we had Carano, right? Who is one of the
Gina Carano.
Gina Carano.
Oh, Gina, yes.
Big name.
Of course.
We had Tagovailoa, right? We had like really big names. We didn't pay a single person. Not a single person. And so I don't know what world they're living in.
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
I mean, and look, and Tucker, all these guys, they could demand a huge fee. You know, they said, no, I'm going there for the country. They said, I wouldn't charge you for this. Like, we're going there to get Donald Trump elected. I have never heard of a campaign or a super PAC this close to an election. You know what it means? It means they don't believe it.
Yeah,
it means that these celebs are not bought in and they were just looking at it as a payday.
Of course. And by
And
the way,
Oprah, too, took $1 million and lied about it.
By the way, Oprah's probably sitting around saying, I could have collected another $9 million. Oprah's pissed, saying, hey, you didn't pay me 9 more. I got to go back and try to collect that money.
But I mean, for her, $1 million, why even charge it?
But there's different things. This is kind of like, you know, when the lawyer does when once a year you're representing somebody that you're not taking any money from, pro bono, right? This is a cause. This is a crusade. You put an event together. Tucker's going to tell you, pay me my $150, whatever the rate is, because it's an event. But if this is a campaign that you're going on to help,
that's correct.
It's a different story. By the way, here's a question for you. Do you think Obama paid Oprah? No way.
She
Do you
believed
think
in it.
she believed?
We would have
That's
known.
it.
We would have known.
You would have felt it. The part is, you would have felt it. There was a big difference.
She really believed in it.
She really believed,
And it was early, too. She did it in the primary, if you remember.
Thanksgiving's around the corner. Christmas is around the corner. There was a moment that Kamala was uncomfortable saying Merry Christmas. She wanted to say Happy Holidays. Rob, can you play this clip? Go ahead and play this clip for the audience. Go ahead.
And when we all sing happy tunes and sing Merry Christmas and wish each other Merry Christmas, these children are not going to have a Merry Christmas. How dare we speak Merry Christmas? How dare we?
Okay, you can pause it right there. So guess what? I want to say Merry Christmas this Christmas. Very simple. And if you are confident enough to say it as well, we had a very deep discussion, because not everybody that works here is Christian would say, listen, guys, we want to create merch that's very bold, that says Merry Christmas with maybe some scripture in it. Let's see if we have an audience for it. Pat, I don't know if it's a good idea and all this other stuff. That's what I stand for. You want it, great. You don't want it, I totally get it. But if you're watching this and you want to get a Merry Christmas hat, you go to Starbucks and you got the sun. I just want to see the reaction. You smile. You go to work, you got a Merry Christmas hat. You got to take that hat off, right? Hey, you want another hat here. You want some of the ugly sweaters that we have here, Rob. Can you show some of the stuff that we got here? You want to get some of the stuff for your kids, shirts, future looks bright. Merry Christmas gear is officially here. And if you're bold enough to do it and order it, and again, you place any orders of these, we're going to put some future looks bright ornaments in the order for you. Limited edition custom that we have for the first 100 that place the order. If you're bold enough and you're comfortable going out there telling people Merry Christmas, and you're a valuetainer that believes the future looks bright, go place an order, and let's make some people uncomfortable or comfortable this Christmas with saying Merry Christmas. Having said that, let's get right into it. Charlie. And by the way, you can go to VT Merch to place the order. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.